It's another time on Nata News TV, and my name is David Okoh. On the program today, we'll be interviewing a professional auto technician in the industry, Mr. Benedict Okoh. And let me bring to your notice that this interview is going to be in episode. So stay tuned and connected with us as we take you around the automobile industry. So, welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'd like to meet you.
Well, just like you introduced at the beginning of the program, my name is Benedict Okoh, and I'm currently the Executive Director, Technical Services of Automedics Nigeria Limited.
All right, very good. So what really motivates you to go into this automobile industry?
Well, the first thing has to do with matter of interest, because while growing up as a kid, I had the interest of, I play with toys, build toy cars for myself and my friends, so that is how the interest actually comes, from the very beginning. And even while I was still going to primary school, after closing, there's a roadside mechanic, just like we always call them, that always hang around there because of my interest of the, of the automotive world. And I will help them do one or two things, and that is how I actually started, that from the very beginning. And also, when I finished primary school, I ensured that I got admission into a technical college. So I also went to technical college. So, everything actually started from the cradle. Yeah.
Okay, now, I'll say vividly that Nigerians are seeing this work as a dirty job. So what's your own perspective towards that?
Well, you see, people's perspective is quite different from what you actually want as a person. And today, even if they regard it as a dirty job, you actually see that people who graduate from universities are actually coming again to learn from the scratch to be mechanics. So it's not really a dirty job. It depends on how you actually package and present yourself. So the job, yes, of course, there are a lot of dirt attached to it because you have oil, you have grease, so there are certain things that will actually make you dirty. But it also depends on your personal hygiene. You can actually keep your workshop very clean and make it presentable, and everybody will be happy to be in your workshop environment.
That means from what you said now, there's the need to enlighten Nigerians more that this work is not a dirty job or something like that.
Absolutely, it's not a dirty job. And like I said, presentation. Sometimes when you're boarding a private, a public transport system, and then you see some of our colleagues dressed in their attire, you will not like to sit very close to them because you feel you get stained from from their clothing. But today, I think the reverse is the case because we dress smartly these days and almost dirt-free. Of course, you'll be able to see some stain because when oil stains your clothes, it will be very difficult to clean out, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to stain someone when you sit close to them. So it's about how you package yourself and how you present yourself that makes it either dirty or something clean.
Okay, now, for someone to go into this industry, what are the requirements? For whoever is watching this program now, for someone who wants to go into the industry, what are the requirements?
The first requirement is interest. Your interest in the job. Because if you just look at it as something that you want to make quick money out of it, then it might not be your field. Because the first thing you have to, love the job, be interested in it. Now, if you have the interest, then you'll be able to pursue your interest. So that is the first criteria in trying to be a mechanic. And also, you need to acquire training. And I will emphasize on training. And of course, you see, like in automedics, what we leverage more on is training. So you have to do personal development all the time, because if you don't, the automobile industry is not waiting. Technologies are coming day after day, so you need to be on top of your game to be relevant in the industry.
Okay, now I also like to say that basic education. So would you say that this should be included into the school curriculum to catch people young, to perhaps I might have interest in it, or someone out there might have interest in it, but catching them young is one of the key. Like, what are you saying towards that?
Yeah, I think even in automatics we do same. We have the summer boot camp for the young ones, because I take myself as an example. Like I told you, right from primary school, I have the interest, and I was going to a roadside mechanic to also see one or two things that are done. That is where I actually pick up the interest. So the same thing can also happen with our kids when they are on holidays. Instead of them to lay down at home and then playing, unnecessarily, why don't you bring them to a place like a workshop where they'll be able to acquire some technical training? And also, if we also, in our school curriculum, I do know back then we have art and craft, where people do so many things and all that, but I think it's almost non-existent now. Exactly, yeah. So if we have things like that, maybe automotive club in the schools, where kids who have interest in automobile repairs can actually form a kind of group, and they have a workshop. And then they have an instructor who also teach them how this will actually work. It will actually improve our technical education.
Okay, now, literacy in Nigeria matters a lot. Looking at this industry in the next 5 to 10 years, and considering Nigerians' literacy, so what's your own view towards that?
Well, I think I also share in your fears. Because your fears are genuine, because if you look at the industry worldwide, a lot is happening. Now we are grappling with fossil fuel vehicles. That is talking about diesel, petrol, and then maybe LP gas. But the fact is that the world is going into a greener energy. And we are talking about plug-in electric vehicles that do not use fossil fuel. And then we are still having problem with the ones that use fuel right here, right now. So we have a problem. It means that if our technicians do not acquire more training and more technical education on how to deal with modern automotive system, I think we'll be laid back. We'll be left behind.
Okay, now, you just said something about the introduction of new technologies into, producing all these cars and everything. It's going to be a big challenge. So how do you think we can work towards this to address that issue?
The only way to address the issue is where the automotive body will be able to bring in courses and training programs to our existing technicians to ensure that they are upgraded, they upgrade their skills. Yes, our technicians generally, not just automotive technicians, are actually left on their own. Whatever we've been doing them individually. So I wouldn't say there's really any encouragement from any quarters that is actually giving any leverage or any incentive to the automotive technician or technician generally. So if we have some kind of incentive from corporate bodies, from the government, that actually train technicians on new technologies that are coming, I think it will do us a lot of good. Instead of us to become a dumping ground for all other industrialized nations, we also have our own policy on technical issues that we'll be able to formulate and ensure that whatever we are getting in this country is exactly what is happening worldwide.
You've just made emphasis on the fact that the federal government needs to do a lot in training and retraining, creating more awareness, right?
Yeah, training should be continual. The moment you stop learning, then it means you completely fade out. So on a daily basis, personally, I look at exactly what is going on worldwide in the world of automotive technology, because I don't want to be left behind. The same thing needs to happen to every technician, and also getting encouragement from the government on issues like this. So if we continue to do that, our technicians will become better. And but when we become better, it means that we are going to render better services. And then the end user of the automotive product are going to be the beneficiaries here, because they're going to get satisfaction for all the jobs that are done. And also, a great profit, like, okay, you buy a car, and then you are assured that for the next 10, 15 years, it's still running and also looking very okay and serviceable.
Okay, well, you've been on radio and TV, to address car issues. So what do you stand to gain from that?
Well, you see, sometimes when we actually started our radio program, a lot of technicians think that we are doing some disservice to ourselves, because it's just like giving out your trade secrets. But the truth is that whatever you're doing that is hidden from the public is like a cult thing, But when you expose it and you open it and people really understand this is what you're doing, and also get to understand the intricacies the challenges you go through, they'll be able to respect you for the job that you do. Unlike when you shield everything, they don't know what is happening. So when you come with a bill, they'll start contesting, what did you do after all? You only did, you didn't do anything as far as they are concerned. But when you make it, when you expose it, when people know exactly what you're doing and all that, they'll be able to respect you, and also you'll get more money while you're doing that.
Okay, so for how long have you been in this industry?
I've been in this industry for well over 3 decades.
Oh wow, that's way too long. Well, interesting. So how has been the experience so far for you, sir?
Well, the experience has been one of a mixed grill, painfully, gainfully, and also very interesting. Painfully because when I actually started, all the luxury of diagnostic tools and all the equipment that we have today were not available. You know, so I have to do it the hard way, and that is painfully. Gainfully because in this industry, I've seen myself to a certain pinnacle of success because I've grown from just the fitter mechanic to you know, several levels to managerial level. So it has been gainfully, and of course it's been lucrative too, because over the years, as I increase my knowledge and also improve myself, I've been making money. So it has been very gainful in a nutshell.
So that means the industry, you make thousands of millions, like you don't understand. So it's very interesting. So now, are you into the repair of only a particular car or just all kinds of car?
Well, I've seen myself right from repairing small cars in the days of the Volkswagen Beetle, Peugeot 504, 505, and then to the Mercedes-Benz, and then also to heavy duty. I've actually worked with a company that deals with heavy duty equipment. I've worked in construction industry, so I know about bulldozer, earth moving equipment and all that. So I've actually worked in the several automotive industry. So when you're talking about specialization in a particular brand of vehicle, what I would say is very simple. The automobile has basic principle, just like the human anatomy. If somebody tells you that he's a dentist, then it means that all he knows about is about teeth and dental and all that. And then we have ENT, ear, nose and throat. The same thing with the automobile. If somebody says that I know how to repair transmission, so it doesn't matter if the transmission is from a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW, a Toyota, a Volkswagen, or whatever. All he knows how to do is transmission. The same thing with engine too. The engine also have the same anatomy. They operate with the same principle. So if you say you are a mechanic and you know how to repair, overhaul engines, you should be able to overhaul all engines. That is the way I see it. But if you localize yourself like, okay, all I do is a Toyota, for instance, I will liken you to a child who goes to school and then come back with their textbook, and then your child is rhyming and singing along, with their pictorial. And then you give your child newspaper, and then your child tells you he cannot read it. Are the alphabet different? The alphabet are the same. But because he knows this one by pictures, to be able to sing along with it. But the other one is just a newspaper, but the same alphabet, but he doesn't understand the words there. So for me, I think if you localize yourself that you repair a certain brand of vehicle, that is the only thing you just put in your head. And it is limiting, in my opinion.
Okay, we also need to ask this question, apart from, repairing the engines and repair. Like, let me use this industry, that is the media industry. If you want to be a news editor, you can be. If you want to be a presenter, you can be. Like, is there such sector in that?
Of course, it exists. Now, if you look at the automobile, there are so many, branches that make up the automobile. You have tires and wheels. Somebody can actually specialize on tires and wheel only. All I do, vulcanizing the tires, the rim, the balancing and alignment and stuff like that. That could be the only job I do. And I can also say I'll be a specialist on engine rebuild. All I do is the engines. I don't do anything else but just the engines. And then you also have people who do body work, panel beating. They don't do spray painting. And then there are people who are specialized on doing only spray painting job. So there are several branches, and also there are people who are just gifted in doing diagnostics. They only do diagnostic, tell the technician, this is where the problems are, these are the things you need to do. So there are several things you can do in the automotive industry that are quite independent, that you can just stand alone, okay, this is the only thing I just want to do.
Lastly, what would be your advice, general?
Well, my general advice is that if you are in this industry, the first thing will be your interest. You need to be technically oriented and grounded, and then honesty, the watchword here. Because whatever you do and then you are not honest with it, it will only take some time before it fades out. But when you are honest with whatever you do, the money will not come easily, as because most people are looking for easy, cheap money. But when you are honest, it might come hard, but eventually it will come. And when it comes, it's going to stay.
The industry is something that you can just come. It's easy to come inside, just develop the interest, and once you're done with that, you're pretty much okay. The first thing you just need to do is develop the interest, then go through the normal procedure, and of course, trust me, you'll be good. My name still remains David Okoh, so join us on the next episode of this interview. It's Nata News TV, and of course, you can reach out to us on our platform, which is www.natanewsonline.com.ng, and of course, download our app on Google Play Store with the keyword Nata News. So I say bye for now.